played a top 10 team. They were superior to us tonight. Got our butts kicked. Got to learn from it. 24-hour rule is still in place, and we got Minnesota next up.
All right, Coach, I'll be brief. Just before I ask my question, from where I sit, you got the toughest job in sports right now, not with the game, but to come in front of us to have to talk. So I think there's some courage and nobility in that. So with that being said, what life lesson could you share with your team or just share with people in general having to stand before us right now after this experience?
Well, you got to be a man. Being a man is taking responsibility in everything that you do and accountability, and that's a life lesson in itself. You live long enough, you'll go through some things in life that'll make you say it's just life. You know, you all you can say is it's life. You know, somebody asks what's wrong, life, and so you never want to turn anything down. This too shall pass at some point in time, based on my faith. So I don't know when, but it will pass at some point in time, and I'm believing it. I'll never lose faith in that, and just where we are right now.
Harlon, obviously the report came out Thursday that you guys were told Wednesday about the signs in Michigan. I was wondering how were you able to, how did you handle that? And, with a redshirt freshman making only his second career start, did that make it even more complicated for him coming into this game?
I don't know if I would say complicated, but, he was, as you saw early in the game, I might even mentioned it, he was going to the sideline because it's something that our guys have done before with teams that do it within the game. There are some teams in our league that are pretty good at doing it, getting signals within the game, which is all part of it, which is legal, and we know that. But running to the sideline, getting the call, then going back into the huddle, telling the guys, as opposed to just getting the signal, everybody getting the signal from the sideline. So that was a slight change, but that's not an excuse. That's not. I don't like excuses. We have to play better. We have to play better, and that's the goal. That's the goal. To start playing better and not beat ourselves.
As a former player in the program and having been here for some of the success, seeing the last touchdown go in, 49-0, biggest home loss in the history of the stadium, I guess, how do you kind of reflect on that, and what did you tell the guys about how to move on from this?
Whether you lose by 1 or 49, it's a loss. First of all, so you just trying to, what I told them was, hey, we need guys. Let me tell you what I told them. So I've been trying to make sure we stay together. That's been my number one thing. My number one thing since I've been put in this position. And so some of that, and doing some of that, I've probably, been kind of like, okay, that's okay that he did that, or a little bit. Nothing crazy, but it's not really who I am as a person, because I was trying to be compassionate towards the players, if I'm making sense. All right. But I told him, I said, now I'm just going to be me all the way. I told him, I said, I was trying to be compassionate. We've been through this now. We know what it is. We're in an adverse situation. And now we've had enough time to think about it and mull it over. Now it's just like, let me be me far as, okay, if you're not here where you're supposed to be on time every day, all day, like you're supposed to be, okay, now you won't play, because that's me. That's me. But, I am a compassionate person. I understood the situation that we were in, so I was trying to just make sure everybody stayed together. Now it's going to be like, who you see out there are guys that are all in, going to give us everything all day, every day. I'm talking on and off the field. And it wasn't nothing super egregious before, but I'm big on time stuff and respect. So, that's what's going to start showing up over these next several weeks.
Coach, a 11 penalties, over 100 penalty yards tonight. How much importance does that hold to you, and how do you plan to address that going forward?
Very, very important. So it's like I told him, that's the second. I didn't know it was 11 again, but that's what it was versus Washington. So you can't play top 10 teams in the country and have 11 penalties. So I didn't know the exact same number. It's the exact same number against those guys, and you saw the results, almost very similar results. And so we got a ways to go to get to that level. But we played top 10 teams and had our worst penalty games. Can't do that. Can't beat ourselves. So it still falls back to discipline. We had started getting better at those things, but we still got to continue to work on it, obviously.
Harlon, back here. The two things. One, along those lines, you had the illegal formation penalty or whatever it was on the punt again. Was it the same situation? And how do you get that corrected so you're not re-kicking and losing yardage or more?
Good question. That was a different guy. So last week was a guy within the line itself, and then this week was a guy out wide, a gunner type guy. They check with the ref. I got to watch the film, so I don't want to just say any old thing. But they in practice, we always check with the refs. We have refs at practice. They check with the ref and do all the things they're supposed to do, and then that's part of just being disciplined, and we just got to continue to push that grim on our guys and doing the little things right, and can't continue to keep doing that.
Secondly, you've got a couple more top 10 opponents and notable defenses on the schedule. I'm wondering how you figure out how to get enough juice out of your offense in the coming weeks and enough playmakers and whatnot.
Well, we're gonna have to really, really study up who's available for us, who our playmakers are, and try to get them the ball as much as possible, and in any kind of way. And because we do have some guys, some talented young men on the offensive side of the ball that can make some things happen. And so we just have to figure out what's best and what works best for us to be able to attack those different teams that we're going to be facing coming up, and see if we can make some things happen.
This team has gone through a lot of adversity this season, but is this just the lowest point yet?
It might be. I got low. I thought it was low last week, and then lower. So, but you got to shake it off and keep fighting. That's all I know. That's all I know. Got to shake it off and keep fighting.
With Michigan's defense, what exactly made them so hard to score on in this game?
Well, like I said, going into the week or earlier in the week, they understand the defense. They understand where they're supposed to be, their assignments, and they're coached well. And so when you're a sound, disciplined defense that's been coached well and guys do what they've been coached to do, then you have a chance to be pretty good. And so that's who they are, and that's what they showed tonight.
Harlon, I guess just after a game like this, the way things have gone the last couple of weeks, are you concerned at all about keeping those guys together the way you were talking about earlier, changing some of your demeanor and everything? Are you worried about this last stretch and guys sort of splitting apart at all? Right.
Well, from the locker room that I saw in there, that was part of me saying what I said too, because they keep fighting, man. They are. They're in. You got guys speaking up. Guys that are passionate and that care and correcting others. They are, man. I love this group. I love this group. I know we're not getting the results that we want, but I love this group of young men, and I appreciate all they've been doing. And I think we'll be fine. I really do.
Harlon, after tonight, and as you try to move forward with the season, do you go back to this moment and kind of this game film, or is it kind of trash it and try to move forward to next week and keep showing, like you said, the resiliency of this group?
You have to watch it. You have to watch it. Face reality. You got to face what really happened, and then get better from it. And know that, like I said, it's still a 24-hour rule, but you want to learn from it, just like we watched last week's film, and try to get better from it, and look to finish out the season the right way, where we're not beating ourselves. Make others beat us. Make them really truly beat us. And then I can come up here and be like, oh, they beat us. we didn't help them beat us, and that's the goal right now, is to finish up these next 5 games without beating ourselves.
The sign stealing allegations, how did you find out? Was it something you already knew about? And was the possibility of not playing this game ever real?
I got a call Wednesday night from our athletic director, Alan Haller, and he had got a call from the Big Ten, and the Big Ten, I got a call from the NCAA, from how I understand what happened, and that's when I found out, and it was talk of what, I was asked what could we possibly do to them, this, that, and other, what you think, and I said what I said, but I wasn't really expecting much to come from it, to be honest with you. At one time, somebody did mention not possibly playing the game, but I'm like, let's, play the game, play the game. It don't get you till it gets you. Just remember that.
Harlon, Hauser, Caden making his just second career start. I was wondering what you thought about how he played overall against the #1 scoring defense in the country, and then also Sam being put in there, true freshman, obviously in a tough spot when you're with Noah unavailable, I assume, still. Yeah,
I mean, but those guys are getting better and are good players, Sam and Caden. So I'm glad they were able to even get reps. And obviously Caden is a starter, but even Sam getting some reps tonight, I think that was good because that, anytime you can get game reps, it's good. It's good. And so I'm glad Sam was able to get some in. Jake said, hey, I'm thinking about putting Sam in. What you think? I said, let's go. Let's get him some reps. And so you never know when we may need him, So that's where we are.
Last one there in the front row, Chris.
Harlon, you mentioned about the need to refocus and all of that. I guess with this group and what they've been through, how do you as the leader recenter them? I mean, is there a way to come back from a game like this? Like, what is the way to come back?
Good question. Well, one of the ways, first of all, when talking to them and making sure they all understand that, hey, and I think they do, but you got to just say it again because you're asking how do you make sure they stay there. Understand how penalties and turnovers and not getting out the field on third down are things that you can't win football games if you're doing those things. And so you got to talk to them about it again, put a heavy emphasis on it again, make sure they all truly understand, because you can feel the room. Everybody understand? Yes, we understand. Or if you're mumbling, then they don't truly understand. But yes, we understand. If there is mumbling, then you say, what is it that we don't understand about what we're doing wrong to get better? And then they may express themselves. So you got to have some dialogue with the team and back and forth. But most times, I can already tell you, I feel like most of them are going to say, yes, we understand, we're beating ourselves, we got to get it corrected, and this is how we're going to get it done. And then we stay together, stay unified, we hold each other accountable on those things, and then we'll have a chance to improve and get better and possibly win some football games.